the thing that we have learned that I love to use as a coach and in demonstrations for prospects is that anxiety rating has two parts. The first part is that algorithmic number, that rating that I just talked about. But the second part of the anxiety score tells you what we call the concentration of anxiety in the organization, or what I frequently refer to as the intensity level. And it's when that intensity level goes up, it drives the anxiety rating up. And when the anxiety rating goes up, the culture score and the well-being score start going down. So we have the opportunity as coaches to show the metric to the client, explain the importance of not letting that anxiety level get above, it's on a scale of 0 to 4, not to let it get above 3. And if we see it climb every month, we need to address it before it gets, as we say internally, toxic, before it just runs amok within the organization, because it's very hard to bring it back after that. It's better to be proactive about it.
Yeah, and I think, when you get into all that technical jargon, run amok is really the one that you don't want to you don't want to hit. Tell me a little bit about that sequence. I thought it was really interesting that you really say that anxiety is really the driver of well-being and culture. Even though I know you use our strategies in anxiety work, I say we, might co-author Adrian Gostick, I would have guessed, if you'd asked me, that it would be the culture score that would then lower anxiety and increase wellness. It's actually the opposite. Was that surprising to you as well?
It was surprising to me because I learned a lot about anxiety from you and from your book. But it was interesting for me to see how when that anxiety rating goes up, the symptom of that is a culture score and a well-being score that go down. So when that anxiety rating goes up, it's a leading indicator of what's going on in an organization. And that's the one we have to pay attention to because it's driving the other two.
So many times, you've got a platform that says, okay, here are the numbers. Good luck, right? the culture think tank actually says, look, here's the anxiety number. Here's the intensity. Here's where it is. And then here's what you can do about it, right?
Yeah, that's one of the things I love about our program. It's not just delivering metrics or data or information. It's actually taking them through a process where we develop an action plan with the client to help address that need that the organization's employees have told us about. And it helps the leaders, not just the one being debriefed, the person being debriefed, but the entire leadership team understand and very specifically pinpoint where they need to go spend their time and money.
So talk to me about, what your clients are saying about the platform and where they're seeing application and what their experience is like.
Okay, I will tell you that when I first started, I brought some of my own personal clients in because I've been in business for 30 years. And across the board, it was almost like they were talking to one another. What they would say to me was, well, at least now I know.
Exactly. I've got a number. I've got a roadmap, right?
Yeah, exactly. At least now I know. That was the first thing. The second thing that I heard a lot of was, well, okay, now that I know, now that I am aware, I know where to spend my time and money. Because how often do they say, oh, it's a training problem, and we throw money at training. Oh, it's a manufacturing problem, and we throw money at manufacturing without really knowing what the issue is. This takes care of that.
I love that expression, at least now I know. Back to anxiety, one of the biggest drivers of anxiety is uncertainty. Right? Well, if I'm worried about my company, I know something's off and I don't know where, and I don't know, I don't have the number. I don't know what my well-being score is. I don't know how many people are suffering from anxiety. And of course it's impacting culture. These simple matrix really give people a lot of confidence and back to anxiety, lowers their anxiety as leaders, doesn't it?
Yes, absolutely it does. That's why us coaches love it so much, is that we address the unknown, we walk next to them, we help them develop a plan. For the next 30 days, they have an action plan that they can focus on, and they can see the results of it the following month, and they can see how they impact their own culture.
People say it takes a long time to change culture. And yet with your matrix and whatnot, you're finding that those shifts happen faster. Did I get that right?
It depends. Yes, the answer is yes, you got that right, because they can see what they can see. The issue is that the leader needs to take the next step. They need to institute something with the leadership team for the next 30 days to address this, to be open, to be transparent, to be vulnerable, all the kinds of things that some leaders don't really talk about sometimes. And so, they've got that 30 days and they know exactly what they need to do. And it's really about opening conversations, really it is. And finding out finer points around why did you answer this, why this came up, this answer came up. What do you mean by you want us to stop micromanaging? Or what do you mean by you want us to start sharing what the organization is doing? Let's have a discussion. What does that mean to you? Does it mean numbers? Does it mean dialogue? Does it mean a narrative? So it helps them put a finer point on the communication issues, which improves the trust issues.
Yeah. As we're wrapping up, what I find really interesting, like you say, the leaders have to do it, right? I can give you all the numbers and all the, if you don't do it, it doesn't matter. What I really love about the platform and the culture think tank is that there's accountability built in, right? I mean, we gave you the stuff, we give you a roadmap for 30 days, and we're going to check back in. And it's pretty easy to figure out if you did it or not, right? It's like with your kids, take out the garbage. Well, if the garbage is still there, it's pretty obvious that nobody took out the garbage, right?
That's right. And we, as coaches, we have a role that we play as, the subject matter expert, if you will, on this culture thing. But the other part of it is we are also a trusted advisor. We understand it. We are a sounding board for the leader. We have ideas to exchange around what can be done, maybe a shift here and there. And where else would they go to ask a person about that?